paying it forward. There's an African proverb that says, all the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today, so let's plant seeds. One day the salon was crazy busy. None of the stylists were available. I decided to take the client to the storeroom and I did her hair. When she went to pay, my boss brought her upstairs and asked, who did her hair? She pointed me out. At this point I thought, oh shit, I'm gonna get fired. My boss did a walk through the salon and said, from here onwards, Staci would be responsible for doing waves. I'm like, all right, let me practice my craft, and I perfected it. Fast forward 5 years later, I'm now overseas studying cosmetology, the youngest in the class of mostly salon owners. The day before graduation, our instructor said, you have 2-hour practical, which is finger waves, and I'm like, okay, this is right up my alley. I'm gonna knock this out the park. I looked around the room, and believe it or not, I saw struggle, I saw tears, I saw everything, and I was like, what the fuck? They can't finger wave in their own salons? I had time on my hands, a whole hour and 58 minutes. And to avoid being murdered by boredom, I got up and I stood behind each student and instructed them as to how to do finger waves. Finger waves have rhythm. The instructor came back and she said, but Staci, why are you helping the students? Don't you think this is cheating? I said, well, no. We all spent serious money to take this class. We all need to pass. So if it means me helping, I'm gonna help. Later that day, we had to elect a class president. The eldest in the class stood up and said, I've owned many salons, employed many persons, but finger wave was always my enemy. She said, if it wasn't for Staci, who was selfless in helping the entire class, none of us would pass today, and I only think it's fair that Staci be given the presidency. And just like that, I became the president of class 543. Full circle, fast forward 13 years. To the public, I had it all. I was successful, married to a good man, awards, 3 businesses. I was dying inside. I walked away from the marriage. I was crushed, broke, and I couldn't get a loan. Did I tell you I was broke? Fucking broke. Yeah. A woman I hardly knew asked me one day, why are you still working with your ex? I said, well, I had no money, can't get a loan. She said, come to my office and we'll talk. Reluctantly, I went. She said, do you have an idea as to the equipment you want? I said, yes. I went online, I showed it to her. She pushed a credit card across the table and she says, put whatever you need on this card. And I'm like, what do you want from me? She says, you need help, and I'm gonna help you. This is a random stranger. The equipment came, I had no money to clear it. A random woman said, I'm gonna clear the stuff for you, and she did. I got the keys to my establishment, didn't have the money to secure it, but she gave me the keys anyway. And she said, after 6 months after opening the business, you can become up to date, you can pay everything off. 6 months after opening my own salon, I was up to date. I had paid all my debt except for my mortgage. For me, creative living is lifting others up. Help will come from the place you least expect it to come from. When you help others and expect nothing, you're sowing a seed. That seed automatically becomes watered by others and out of the goodness of your heart. When you're down and out, that seed will become good food to nourish you, strengthen you, encourage you to get going and get giving again. I know what that is. I lived it. I'm so blessed to have had a supportive family, badass girlfriends, a beautiful man cub, and a companion who sees me for me and wants me for me. I am Staci, and this is my story.